First up on this year's PBA Tour in Delaware is over for my part, a major roller coaster trip. So we bowled on Cheetah, 35 feet, 37 milliliters, very high volume pattern on a very high friction surface, and scores were through the roof as they usually are on Cheetah. First block we bowled 3 6-games blocks, cut to top 24, 32 cash. First block I shot 1387, 231 average, to be just outside the cash number. Pretty consistent block where first block is always a little, you're trying to not kill yourself and trying to figure out what exactly is going on with the lanes. Even though we have the practice session, they always play a little different. You don't know how the field's going to attack it, how the field's going to break it down. So you're just kind of trying to figure everything out, hope for the best, but at least not get yourself in trouble. And that's kind of what I did. I had a pretty good look most of the time, but never had a great look. So I never got those really big games, just kind of consistent. I threw an iron max for the most part and could probably have needed something that was a pinch cleaner, but it's one of those things where you feel like you can strike all the time, but then you just have that 10 pin once in a while that keeps you from getting the long strings, and that's why you only shoot 220 instead of 240s and 250s and 260s, like the guys that are leading. So on to the second round, we bowl in the morning and then in the evening, and the evening always plays way different. And this was no different. I decided I wanted to try to be a little more aggressive with my hand, see if that could create a little bit better pin carry. So I went with a level on the fresh instead of the iron max, which was a great solution because I went 290, 276 the first 2 games, which actually shot me all the way up to like 11th or something. Unfortunately, levels started to go away a little bit, and game 3, ideally I probably should have switched balls in the middle of game 3, but it was still close. I just couldn't get the 10 pin out, so I shot 210, which was still okay at that point. Went to a physics blackout and moved a little left. I had a pretty good look, actually had 260 going into the 10th frame, but the issue with what I was doing with that ball was that I didn't really have any hole when I missed left. And I missed a little bit left in the 10th frame and went through face and opened for 230. So still a good game, still in a good position. But now we go to game 5 and I go flat 10, strike flat 10. I'm like, all right, I need to do something different. And it just went away. Like, it felt like as soon as I started moving a little bit left, it just felt completely torched. When I got my ball to the right, it burned up and wouldn't go through the pins. If I didn't get it to the right, it would just instant hook. If I went to something cleaner and a little bit more responsive, it would just be too hard off the back of the pattern, and my angles got all messed up. I threw a decent amount of bad shots too. It doesn't help, but I just ran out of any kind of solutions to what the lanes were giving me. A lot of guys were playing like 4th, 5th arrow on 35 feet, meaning they were going from like sliding in the left gutter, crossing between 4th and 5th arrow, going out to like 2, 3 at the break point. And that's just not an angle I'm very good at. So a few bad shots, bad ball reaction, bad last game. Still shot 1391. Which kept me right around the cash number and just a little bit outside the cut number. So not bad, just a little demoralizing finish to that block. So on to next morning. Again, morning block plays different. I decided to go with the level to start with. Again, started with a front 6, great look. Then missed left once for a 4 pin. Threw one a little bit firm, 2 8 10, out of nowhere kind of, struck and then moved. Wanted to make sure it caught it because I figured it was just a little bit of a bad shot, the 2 8 10, and it just never hooked. So all of a sudden that lane just got tight on me. Moved to the next pair and the level just didn't look right. So I had to switch balls at that point. I actually polished a gem because I wanted something that was cleaner than my Iron Max without being more responsive down lane. So, and the gem actually did a pretty good job. That had a really nice ball reaction. The next couple games shot 220, 250. Could have been more, but 220, 250, I'm not going to complain about that. Put myself in a good position, got inside the cash number with 3 games to go. Had a pop at the cut number also, and my ball reaction just started going away again. Got like, I think I went turkey, stone 9, strike, 10 pin. That's kind of when you know ball's not doing the right thing. When you make a small adjustment off a 9 pin and you 10 pin, it's starting to go away. And with the scoring pace being as high as it was, I kind of felt like I had to do something different. I went to a phase 2, symmetrical, being a little more rounded than the big asymmetric core in the gem, and it looked pretty good. Managed to get a couple doubles and get a decent game in game 4. Then went to the next pair, was a little bit tighter, so started with 210, made the move, 5-bagger, so pretty in good position inside the cash number, and could put myself in really good position with a good game. Then I throw one pretty good, got a pinch around it and the 9 pins, and then I strike on my next shot and get up, and I move off the 9 pin because I felt like that lane was starting to hook, and I throw it absolutely perfect, like get it out to like the 2 board, get it off my hand clean, and it just stone 9 so hard. And unfortunately I only shot 220 that game. That was really close to being like a 250, 260 game, which would have put me really close to the cut number actually at that point, but 220 still in good position, and then just ran into the same kind of issues as the day before. Everyone was playing so deep, and I tried getting in there and I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it far enough down lane, couldn't get it far enough to the right, and I had to trick it so much that it just didn't work out. Bad last game again, and ended up in missing the cash number by a little bit. Just very depressing feeling, honestly. I feel like I should be able to do well on Cheetah, but historically I've only done well on Cheetah a few times. It's more because Cheetah, you'd think like short pattern, you have to play pretty straight, pretty close to the gutter, and you have to get it to the gutter, but you don't necessarily play close to the gutter or straight. Like a lot of guys were playing like 4th arrow for a big part of their games this week, and that's just not my strength. I should have found some different solutions. I probably could have, looking back, went with some weaker balls, maybe a little loft, speed. I should have tried some of that. In the moment, you try what you think you can make work, and what you're looking around you and seeing what's happening around you and what everyone else is making work, and it didn't work for me. So gotta learn from that, move on. Still decent start, felt like I threw the ball decent, spare shooting was solid. A lot of good things to take from this. Mental process wise, learned a few things, but also did a lot of really good things compared to the past couple of years. So overall, had the results been just a little bit better, I would have been pretty happy with my performance this week. But we're moving on, taking the positives, learning from the negatives, and moving on to the US Open. Unfortunately, I have the PTQ there, so hopefully I strike a bunch in the PTQ to make it into the main field. Otherwise, we just move on again. So fingers crossed for the PTQ at the US Open, and thanks you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and make sure you subscribe and check back for even more from the PBA Tour here in 2025. So see you guys in the next video from Indy for the US Open.